Everyone says you need to track every expense and sacrifice your lifestyle if you ever want to reach your financial goals. I've tried that for over 2 years and it didn't work because it was taking too much time and it was making me feel miserable. So I created a different system, one that takes only 15 minutes per month, that doesn't require tracking every transaction, and that actually works with real life. I've used this to save over 250,000 euros. But more importantly, it has helped my clients save even 3 times faster than before, without sacrificing their lifestyle. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can use this system so that you can reach 100,000 euros faster without wasting hours every month managing your finances. But first, let me show you why normal systems make most people give up after just a few months without ever reaching their goals. As soon as I started working, I started tracking all my expenses, every coffee, every dinner, every bus ticket. I did that for 2 years, or at least I tried to, because it was taking so much time that I would often just not do it. And when I was doing it, I felt guilty about every expense I had made. It really made me feel miserable and it wasn't helping me improve my finances. The thing is, most advice you find online on how to manage your money falls into the track everything and cut what's unnecessary philosophy, which in principle is great. But in practice, it just doesn't work. It takes too much of your time. It punishes you for your choices. It doesn't help you identify what actually is working and what is not in your finances. And most importantly, it doesn't help you understand what you should focus on to grow your money. It doesn't give you any direction. That's why, to stop feeling stuck and frustrated, I took what worked from everything I tried and created my own system. Now, this system is the only one, at least to my knowledge, that allows you to track your money, understand what is working, identify what is blocking you based on your own objectives, and suggest potential actions to reach your objectives faster. All in only 15 minutes per month. So, how does this system work? Let's start with the first step, which is the basis on which the whole system works. I call it the FIGS system. And even though it might sound similar to others you've heard of, there's a big and crucial difference. Let me explain. Imagine you have a single glass full of M&Ms. Each color represents a different type of expense. When the glass is too full, you have to dig through all the colors to figure out which category went over budget. That's what most budgeting systems make you do. Now, imagine you have 4 separate glasses, one for each color. If one glass fills up too quickly, you instantly know which category is the problem. You don't need to sort through everything to find out where you overspent. That's what you do with my FIGS system. Instead of tracking tens of different categories, you only track 4. Fundamentals, so rent, bills, groceries, everything you need to survive. Investing, your long-term money. Guilt-free money, restaurants, hobbies, life enjoyment in general. And savings, short-term goals like holidays, buying a house, and emergency fund. That's it. And instead of analyzing the amount spent, you analyze the percentage of your income allocated to each. Let me show you on my own tracker how this works. You can find the link in the description. Let's say you earn 3,000 per month. Maybe you spend 2,000 for fundamentals, 200 for investing, 600 for guilt-free money, and 200 for savings. Now, instead of focusing on the absolute amount used, it's more interesting to check the allocation, because that's where you can really benchmark how you're doing. So here in this sheet, you have your own allocation for each month. And you can see in this case, 66% goes to fundamentals, 7% respectively to investing and saving, and 20% to guilt-free money. Now, how do you know if you're doing well? We'll see later in this video exactly how to better evaluate your own distribution. But as a general rule of thumb, you can use 55% for fundamentals and 15% each for investing, saving, and guilt-free spending. But this isn't a strict rule. Your situation might require different allocations. The important thing is to set your own targets based on your goals, then measure against them. Maybe your focus is saving, so you increase savings. Or maybe you live in an expensive city, so your fundamentals are higher. Now, step 2 is extremely simple. Set up a reminder in your calendar to spend 15 minutes every month writing down your income and these 4 main categories. Then you just compare them to your targets and see how you're doing. That's it. And here's a very simple tip for you, one that made a huge difference for a client who went from 14,000 to 50,000 euros in 1 year thanks to it. Automate everything you can. Set up automatic transfer for investing and savings the moment your salary hits your account. Automate bill payments. This way, what's left is your fund money and whatever's left for your fundamentals like groceries. But this only gives you an idea of how you've managed your money during the last month. That's why it's so important to also track one other thing, your net worth. This is the real indicator that tells you if your finances are doing well or not. Your net worth is defined as your assets, like your savings and investments, minus your debt. That's it. Clearly, you want this number to be as high as possible and to constantly grow. As a rule of thumb, if your net worth is growing, it means you're already on a good track. But there are probably ways to make it grow even faster. If it's decreasing, it means you have a serious problem and you have to act immediately. For example, if you have 10,000 in savings and 13,000 in investments, your assets will be 23,000. And if you have 21,000 in debt, your net worth will be 2,000 euros. But what you probably want to know is, how do I get my net worth to grow faster? Well, for this we have step 4, which is what makes this system so special and what makes it better than the others. Because without it, you would not know what to do with your finances, even if you're tracking everything. Because comparing your result to your targets is not enough. You need to identify what's blocking you from growing your money faster and what to do about it. To make that easy for you, I've built a free online tool that helps you identify all of that. Its link is here in the same Google Sheet as before. Here, you just plug in your numbers plus 1 or 2 more that you haven't calculated yet, like your emergency fund. You can also customize your targets if you want. Choose which main goal you have, and by clicking on Find My Bottleneck, this tool suggests what your bottleneck probably is and some actions you could take to solve it and grow your money faster. For example, if we take the previous numbers, it identifies that you should absolutely build an emergency fund as it's not enough right now. Then you have too much debt, so you should focus on eliminating high interest debt, and that your income allocation is not correct for a growth objective. And that's it. In 2 minutes, you have a great and personalized suggestion. It couldn't be simpler than that. Now, this is the simplest, fastest, and I believe most useful system to manage your money you can find. It will give you clarity on where your money goes and what you should do in only 15 minutes per month. But even if you start managing your money perfectly, you might still make wrong financial decisions. Especially because here in Europe, there are 3 money myths everybody believes in that could completely destroy your finances and never let you save 100,000 euros. So if you want to know what these 3 myths are and what to do instead, watch this next video so that you will manage to reach 100,000 euros faster.